BranNuYu in the mix. HeartRapMix.com.
I'm about to play an interview that I had with RBS, a Houston rapper. Has worked with Von Juan and Cypreme and other artists from Houston. It's been a while since most people heard of RBS, but he's now releasing music under his name, John Moore.
Call or click John Moore for a free home repair estimate.
Call John.
Get more.
It's all about the house.
Hello?
What's up, RBS?
What's going on, bro?
I'm doing pretty good. How's your day been?
Oh, man, it's blessed, man. I can't complain about it, man. Just a good day, bro.
It's awesome. I just want to ask you some questions about your music and your ministry.
Hey, that's cool, brother.
Alrighty. First off, tell everybody what your name is and where you from.
Well, man, my birth name, man, is John Moore.
Call John.
Get more.
I'm from Baytown, Texas, via Germany. I was born in Germany, and my dad was in the military. And when I was still a toddler, we moved back to Texas. My mom and dad are both from Baytown, so they moved back here, man. And I've been raised here ever since.
That's tight. So does anybody say anything about your name, like John Moore, like that commercial?
Call John.
Get more.
Actually, yes, man. I get that everywhere I go, bro.
Call John. Get more.
Yeah, man. I get that everywhere, dude.
Oh man. So I've seen you had a song with Cypreme. How was that? How's working with him?
Oh man, you know what? That was a long time ago, man. But you know that was cool, man. I love working with Preem, man. I've been knowing Preem for a good while, you know. In fact, if it was not for Cypreme, I never would have got my shot to work with Von. You know, I had when I first started doing Christian hip hop, man, back in like 1999, 2000. So I had put out like a little, I guess you can say like a little maxi single. I had like 3 songs on it. And, you know, I started getting a little notoriety, man. And I had met Cypreme through some mutual friends. And, you know, we just kind of got cool. And then, you know, some more years went by. You know, I really wasn't on the scene. You know, I was kind of doing my thing, like, you know, like small churches, little small events like that, little small youth events. And one day, man, I was like, man, I really need to do something. And I remember that I had a CD he had gave me with a bunch of his beats on it. And I was like, man, I wonder if this guy's number is still the same. And I gave him a call and it was still the same. And I was like, you know, I'm looking for a way in, bro. And he was like, well, there's not a whole lot that I could do for you. But he hooked me up with Von, man. And it was cool. And just in the process, man, before I even hooked up with Von, one day I had this idea for a song and I called him up and I was just like, man, you know, I got this idea for a song, but I need a beat. And, you know, he made the beat and we just kind of hooked up on it. It was really almost a spur of the moment type thing. And it turned out great, man. And it was a hot one, man. It was I really liked what it was about, man. You know, really with us talking about being manning up at that time, man. And, you know, we were men, the way men were in church and the way men were in our social world, man. We just really needed to step up, and I think that was a good song for the time.
Oh yeah, I remember jamming that all the time on MySpace.
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Have you heard of Drew Zoo or Soldiers on Mission or M Session or some of the other people from?
Yeah, man. I know. I've had being around as long as I have, man. Because you know, even though I never climbed up the ranks the way I would really have wanted to, I got a chance to really know a lot of these guys, really work with a lot of these guys. I know Session, man, from being at Supreme Studio and getting a chance to meet him there, and then doing a couple of ministries with him here and there. A couple few outreaches here and there. Really don't know Druzu as well, but I've had a chance to meet them, man. Soldiers on a Mission, man, know them very well. Being around Vaughn and whatnot, man. And at that time when him and Trey was working together, bro. So that really got me. I really got a chance to meet a lot of those guys and be around a lot of those guys, man. Especially Soldiers on a Mission. I love those guys. In fact, they featured on my debut album, man. We had a song together called "Tear the Church Up."
Oh yeah, I remember that one. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know Little Roddy?
Yeah, me and Lil Roddy, man, go back a little ways with him also, man. Actually, after I had kind of took like a little hiatus, man, for a while, and I was getting ready to try to come back, and me, Roddy, and Vaughn were working on a song together, but my daughter ended up dying, man, so that project kind of canceled, and that's why I've been gone for so long, man. But that was one of the last things I worked on was a song with Lil Roddy and Vaughn, bro.
Man.
Yeah.
Where did you get your start in making music?
Man, that was very, very long time ago, bro. That was almost 30 years ago, dude. I was like 14, man, and I have a cousin. He had a group at this time. Good story. I'm gonna make it real short for you, man. It was a good story. At this time, man, I had a cousin. We called him. That's back when X Clan was real big. Real early '90s, man. X Clan, Public Enemy, and just like the whole Africa medallions and beads and stuff was going on, man. And my cousin had this group called the Homicide Society. And it was like kind of like a down south Wu-Tang Clan type thing. It was like a bunch of different groups and a bunch of solo artists within one big massive group. And at that time, I really wasn't rapping, but I loved the culture, I loved the music, and I was more of a dancer at that time. I was into break dancing and stuff, man. And they had this contest at my school, dude. I went to Sterling High School in Baytown, and I wanted to get into this contest, man, but I knew I didn't want to get into it dancing because, I knew I had some better dancers that I was going to have to go against. So I told my cousin, I was like, man, I want to rap, but I don't know how to write. So he wrote a song for me, and he actually put together this group for me. Me and a couple of friends of mine, because we were always around him and his guys. So he kind of put us together as a group, and he wrote this song for us, bro. And we came in second place at the talent contest, which allowed us to go to a bigger talent contest that was held at San Jacinto Mall here in Baytown. And we came in second place in that one, which sent us to an even bigger one at Deerbrook Mall, where we ended up coming in third place, man. And I just kind of went from there. My other guys, they kind of fell off. We clowned around for a little bit, but I stayed with it. And I kind of became like one of his hype men. And I would just always be at his DJ's house like every day, man, because his DJ lived like right around the corner from me. So I would be at his DJ's house like every day. And, he would just be teaching me different things, man. And my cousin would be showing me different formulas for writing, for different ways to learn how to freestyle and kind of just, work on my craft and perfect my craft. And I was taking it serious, but I was still kind of trying to do my thing in the streets. I was trying, I was a drug dealer, man. So I was still trying to run around and sell drugs and stuff. And I just kind of got caught up, and I ended up going to prison. This is years later, but I ended up going to prison. And while I was in there, I ended up meeting a couple of guys that were that had been in the business that had messed up as well. And man, they just, they were listening to me, and they're just like, man, you really have a good head on your shoulders as far as lyrics and things like that. You can probably make it. And when I came home from prison, like it wasn't even a good week, 2 weeks, this guy that knew me, that knew about me before I went to prison, man. He knew about me being in battle raps and stuff like that, and he was like, man, I want you to join this group with me, man. We already got a gig, and I'm like, what is it? So he's like, man, we're gonna be opening up for the Fifth Ward Boys, Do or Die in UGK, and of course, I was like, yeah, I was with it, and man, it just went from there.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
watching 007 from Fifth Ward today. His testimony on Factor Effects. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's so crazy, bro. You know, and I know you're the interviewer. You're the one asking the questions.
Yeah.
So, but check me, another awesome story, bro. I had once again I had opened up for these guys, right? So you know, I've had a chance to meet them a couple of times in the past, and here it was like 10 years later, 11 years later. I'm in the studio with Vaughn working on my album, and in walks 007, and he remembered me from then, you know. So it was kind of crazy, man. And I felt blessed and honored that he remembered me, man. And he actually took me with him to Kansas, man, to do a show. We ended up going to Kansas together, man, to do a ministry there. And it was awesome, man. 007's a great guy.
It's great. What's your testimonial? What's a brief summary of how you came to know Christ?
Oh man, you know, I was actually raised in the church, man. But it was like I just had this love hate relationship with church. You know, I loved it for the fellowship you would get with people. But at that time, man, my mom and my dad, they had a very tumultuous relationship. You know, my dad was an alcoholic, you know, dealing with post traumatic war syndrome and all this stuff like that, man. And he was very violent, and he would you know, he would beat on my mom, you know. And so at that around that age 14, 15, I kind of just made up my mind to just not go to church. You know, I was like, you know, I told my mom if Jesus was so real, because she would always tell me Jesus is gonna fix it, Jesus is gonna fix it. But you know, you're young, you're growing up in a quote unquote ghetto environment. You know, because I grew up in a neighborhood that was very infested with drugs and things like this, and growing up in that atmosphere, and you're seeing nothing but violence and drugs and total chaos. You know, I'm like, if Jesus is so real, why isn't he fixing it? You know, I didn't understand. I had no understanding of what was really happening around me, and so I left the church. And around the age of 16, I ended up moving to Killeen, Fort Hood, and I met a group of kids there from the East Coast, and they were really big into Islam, and I actually um began to practice the Islamic religion, the Islamic faith, and I did that for some years, man. I did that until I was like 23, 24 years old, and I ended up getting married to this girl I was dating in high school, and her mother was a very devout Christian, man, very strong in her faith, very strong in her belief. And she never tried to change me, but her thing was, if you're going to be married to my daughter, you at least have to go to church. Now, I'm thinking, what does me going to church have to do with being married to your daughter? I had no idea that she was planting the seed, man. And so in my mind, I'm like, you know what? Just to make you happy, to keep my wife happy, I'm gonna go to church with y'all. So man, I'm attending this church with them, and which by the way was right next door to where we live. So I'm attending church with them, man, for months. And finally one Sunday, it's like everything the pastor was saying, man, it seemed like he was talking directly to me. You know, he was speaking to my pain. He was speaking to my fears. He was speaking to everything that I knew to be true deep within inside of me. He was speaking to it. You know, he was speaking to that seed that had been getting planted for months and months and months and really for years. You know, with my mom's prayers and the different people that had tried to speak into my life that I was rejecting. So I actually got angry. You know, all those demonic forces inside of me, man, got angry. So I left the church, and I went, like I said, we live right next door. So I just, you know, went through the fence and went home. and I went in the backyard, man. I was rolling up a blunt. I was getting ready to get high, man. And just as I was getting ready to light the blunt up, I can just hear God just plain as day, and he was like, they're telling you the truth. And I put it down, man, and right then and there, I gave my life to Christ, and I just asked him to come in and change me and fix me, man. And it was really like that.
Man, that's awesome. What's RBS stand for? Is that an acronym?
Yeah, and you know what, man? Honestly, bro, I kind of don't use it anymore. I only time I really use it is for those that used to know me by that name. But RBS, man, it stands for Reborn Soldier. It was when I first started doing Christian rap, because I came up in a time, nobody really used their real name. I think Scarface was the only one who would ever use his real name sometimes. But I never really knew any rappers that used their real name. And at that time, I felt like the name that I had as a rapper, I could not use as a Christian artist because they would call me, my rap name back then was Lil Ghetto. And I was like, man, I can't be Lil Ghetto trying to rap for Jesus, I was like, that just doesn't sound right. And I was like, I can't be John Moore because it sounds too square. And I was just one day, dude, me and some friends, we were sitting around freestyling, and I just came up and this Reborn Soldier this and this and that, and kind of Reborn Soldier just kind of stuck. And I was like, but that's still too long, I don't really want to have somebody calling me Reborn Soldier every time they call me. So it just came up with RBS, and it just kind of stuck. And it was there for some years. But after I fell off real bad, bro. I'm a very open and honest person. When I was with Vaughn, I did a lot of things. I did some sins against God. I did some sins against my wife, against my family, and that's kind of what took me away from the hip hop music ministry. And when I got ready to start doing music again, man, God was just like, just be yourself, just be John, just be who I created you to be. And so that's who I am now, man. I'm just John, bro.
That's good. Do you have a job, or is music full time?
Yeah, I work, man. I'm actually an assistant store manager, credit manager for Rent-A-Center. So I'm into collecting money, bro. I still do my music though. I have my wife. I love her dearly. She allows me to play my music very loud upstairs in the house. I have a little studio upstairs that I put together. Nothing major, nothing big. It doesn't even look professional, dude, but it gets the job done.
That's cool. Do you have any kids?
Yeah, man. I have I'm a father of 4. I have a 23-year-old who lives in Louisiana. I have a 20-year-old that lives here in Baytown, 20-year-old son. I have a 14-year-old daughter, and my daughter Heaven, which anybody that knew me, during my time with Vaughn and all those guys, man, they knew Heaven. Heaven was my youngest daughter. She passed away 3 years ago.
Sorry for that, man. Have you spoken at schools or ministered at prisons at all?
Yeah, man. I did that. I did that for a good while, bro. I think the last time I spoke in a prison, last time I spoke in a prison, man, was in 2011. And the last time I spoke in a school was actually like about a year ago. Now, because mostly now, man, most of the ministry that I do now is in church behind the pulpit. I'm a minister now. I've gone to seminary. I did about a year and a half in seminary, and God has blessed me to be able to still work in ministry in different ways, even though I haven't been so deep into the music as I would like to be. I've had a chance, just dealing with different pastors and different ministers. They've brought me and taken me places to, for me to share my testimony about my life and about me being in the music and and how the music actually kind of saved my life. Um, so I've still had chances and opportunities, but my biggest focus in ministry here in the last few years has been in my family. Um, my father and my daughter got sick around the same time, so I spent like almost 2 years strictly taking care of them. I went to school to become a certified nursing assistant just so I can take care of them. Um, Family to me, if I can't take care of my family, if I can't minister to my family, then there's no way I can minister outside of my family. You know what I'm trying to say, bro?
Yeah.
So it was very important to me that I get things straight in my house. Um, my father, once again, my father was not such a nice person when I was younger, but because of what my mother instilled into me when he got sick, um, I felt in my heart it was still the right thing for me to do. So I focused a lot on him, and then like right when he was getting better, my daughter got worse. So I just stayed there and I took care of them. And God has opened up great doors for me from doing that, from that obedience. Me and my wife, we actually, after my daughter died, we started a nonprofit organization. So now what we do, bro, is we actually work with autistic children and children that have the disease that my daughter had. So we've had a chance to do a lot of things for the school district for their special needs programs here in the Goose Creek area, um, and trying to grow and expand. And I believe that my connections in the music industry has helped me in that. Um, I think was not last year, the year before last, I was able to bring out Gifted and 007 before they officially became Raw. When I think it was like they had did like their first little single together as Raw. Um, they came out, and did some ministry for us, man. Trey Cosmos came out and did some ministry for us, helped us raise some money for the school district, man. We were able to do some things for the autistic children there, and that was real big for me. I just feel like, man, right now, family family is the biggest ministry that any man can have. Uh, Family is the cornerstone of Christian life. I believe, man. I believe that mother, father, I mean fathers, mother, children are the basis of what God had purpose for us. And if I can't minister in my home, if I can't take care of this house, just like the scripture says, then I'll never be able to take care of his house.
Yeah.
So once and I think that was my problem back then. I did not know how to run my house. So I was having a problem doing his work in his house. I wasn't focused on him. I wasn't focused on his people. I was always looking at me. And when my daughter and my father got sick, it made me look at somebody else besides myself. And since then, bro, I'm telling you, it's like I'm always looking to see how can I help somebody else now.
That's great. Uh, the last guy I talked to in an interview, North Star, he actually works with autistic people too. That's crazy. You mentioned working with autistic people.
Yeah, man. My daughter Heaven, she was autistic, bro. Heaven, dude. Oh man, if you would have knew Heaven, Brandon, I'm telling you, bro, you would have loved her. She was autistic, and she had a very rare disease. She was literally 1 in 10 million people that had her disease. It's called Cushing syndrome, and it's a disease where your body constantly makes steroids and different hormones. And it just never stops. So there's like a sudden burst growth in weight, blood pressure issues, kidney issues, things of that nature, man. And ultimately, she died from kidney failure at the age of 4. Um, but she was autistic, but she just had this. I found, man, that through her, bro, that they're really not the special ones, bro. We are, they're more normal to God than we are. She had a way of just knowing how to praise God automatically. And I would always remember, whenever I would have to go up to the school and do certain things at the school that we have to do with special needs children. Um, I would always notice how these children, how they always instantaneously loved somebody. They either loved you or they just didn't want to be bothered with you. And I've always noticed that they only weren't bothered with people that I would watch. And as I watched the people that they did not want to be bothered with, those people actually had attitudes. But those people that were open to them, they just loved them. They loved them, and they loved them unconditionally. The person could be as what we would call ugly. The person could be as what we would call fat. The person could be as what we would call too dark or too black or whatever. It didn't matter to them. They just loved people, and they just had this aura about them, bro. Where it's like they just always seemed angelic. And I would watch Heaven, and my daughter Heaven, her favorite thing to do was praise God.
Wow.
And I would always think to myself, this little girl who could barely speak, because she couldn't hold complete sentences. She did what they call parroting. Basically, she repeated what she heard over a period of time. But there were things that she would say that I know we never taught her, nor did they ever teach her at school. She loved the song "Well Done" by Dietrich Haddon, and it's like every time that song would come on, there would be like this huge smile on her face, and her hands would automatically go in the air from the very first time she ever heard it. I didn't teach her how to do that. My wife didn't teach her how to do that. And she would just sing that song, and she would always say, "Well done, well done, well done."
That's awesome.
And when the song was over, she automatically said, "Thank you, Jesus."
That reminds me of that scripture that says, it talks about, the perfected praise in the mouth of babes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, bro. It's God. God is such an awesome God. We have these children here, these adults, whoever they may be, in the world that we live in, man. We look at them and we want to tag them or label them, and we push them off to the side. And in all honesty, bro, I believe they have a closer relationship with God than any Christian ever has.
Wow. Next.
Who else is going to take care of them?
Yeah. In what ways does music influence people, and how can Christians influence the world with music?
Are you speaking from a hip hop sense or just music in general?
Music in general, or hip hop.
Man, I believe this, man. I believe music is a big influence on the world, no matter what form or no matter what genre it comes in. And I believe the best way to influence a person with your music is to just be who you are, is to be honest and open in your music. The like the new song that I posted, bro. That was actually my birthday song. My birthday was Wednesday morning, so that Tuesday night I actually spent all day Tuesday recording that song and perfecting that song as the best I could. And that song was me being as open and as honest and as true to myself as I could be. And the best way to influence the world with our music, with just the genre of Christian music, just generalizing Christian music, is to be honest about who we are, to be honest about who God is to be honest about what he wants to do for you, and to be honest about what happens if you don't follow him, man. I mean, I know the world really doesn't want to hear that a lot, but it's the truth, in First Peter, I believe it's the second chapter, man. It talks about watching the false prophets, And we have so many false prophets in music, with hip hop, with rock and roll, with R&B, with jazz, just all these different things, man. These people are telling us things. These people are giving us different kind of subliminal messages. These people are giving us different kind of innuendos, man, and pushing what they believe into our minds, into our children's minds, but we as Christians, we don't do that enough. We sing our songs, we rap the raps, and we do the outreach, and then we go home. But in the secular world, being that I've dealt in secular music, man, these guys are working 24/7 to make it. They're working 24/7 to get their product out. And I'm not saying that all Christian artists do this, because we have a thirst and a hunger for the music and for the love of the music just as anybody else. But I don't believe we push Jesus enough. I just feel like we don't do it enough. It's almost like we've settled to be where we are. I love I say Vaughn's name a lot, man, but I love Vaughn One, man. Vaughn One he was one of my best teachers, and this dude, he has a work ethic like nobody else that I know of, man. This guy's always doing something. He's always pushing the music. He's always pushing the message. He's always trying to find a new way to push the music and the message. He's always trying to find a new way to get the next artist out there. He's always trying to find a way to get it done. And in the secular world, man, that's exactly what they do. But we don't do that. And we try to find the cheapest way. I'm speaking in the Christian hip hop side of it. We always try to find the cheapest way. We want the next Christian artist to just do it for us because you're a Christian like I am. Just help. No, you can't just help, bro, because there's a lot of time, money, and effort, and sweat, and tears, and all this stuff that's gone into this. Because this music that we do is not just music. These words come from our hurts. These words come from our convictions. These words come from our pains, from our different life struggles. So you don't just give away your life struggle just to be giving it away. The Bible tells you, man, that you don't cast your pearls among pigs. You just don't do it. And a lot of times, man, a lot of other Christian artists, man, I have people, man, that they still hit me up, and just to make it clear, Christone, I'm not talking about you. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about my boy Christone, but I have other guys, man, that hit me up and like, hey, do this, do this, do this. And I'm like, well, man, I really don't have time because of the way I work and because of the things that I have going on with my family and church. And they get upset with me, man. And I'm like, I don't understand. How can you get upset with me when I'm telling you, not that I don't want to do it, I just simply don't have the time. If I had the time, if I did this as a 24-hour job, this was my only source of income, if this was the only thing that I did 24/7, then yeah, man, we can make room. But I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a businessman. I run a nonprofit. I'm a minister at my church. I have a mother and a sister that are ill that I try to help do my best to help them with their illnesses. So it's like, dude, if I have time to help, man, I would love to help. If I can't, then I just can't. So, I mean, we just have to really take a self-assessment of ourselves and see what we're putting in our music. Are we just getting on some records and just rapping about Jesus just to be rapping about Jesus, or are we really living this? Are you really putting your whole heart into this? Because I promise you, the listener can tell. You listen to Christian hip hop music, you listen to Christian music, period. You can tell when a person is just doing it or when they're really giving you them. It's with any artist, man. You can just tell. And if we want to influence the world, we have to be more true to ourselves. We have to be more true to the gospel. We have to be more true to life. And that's what I believe we need to do as Christian artists, man, to really influence the world.
That's awesome. Have you had any involvement with Hip Hop Hope with Trey 9?
I did some years back, man. But like I said, after I kind of just started taking care of my father and my daughter, man, there was a lot of things that I just kind of stepped away from. Not that I didn't want to do it, or not that I didn't have time or anything like that, man. I just really focused on my family, man. That's for the last I'm gonna say, man, since about 2011. That's where my whole focus has been, man. It's been on family. If if you go through my page, man, if you look at my SoundCloud, you would see just like sporadically here and there, like a song would pop up. Um, God would put something in my heart, and I would go ahead and drop it. But for the last few years, man, all of my time and effort has been in family and in my church family. You know,
Cool.
I've really been, man, Brandon. Just to be honest, man, I've been spending the last few years making sure that I don't make the same mistakes that I made then.
You
You,
need to
you
get in
know,
the word,
um,
right?
yeah, I want to be a good student of the word, and more than just being a good student of the word, man. I want to be a good Christian, bro. Like I said, once again, very open, very honest. I was not living the gospel. I was not living what I was rapping about and what I was preaching about. I mean, I was a Christian. I prayed. I studied my Bible. And I went and I taught the gospel. I spread the gospel. But behind closed doors, I had another life. We're just gonna keep it real. I was just off stage. I was a totally different person. Get angry, sexual lust, man, that I was dealing with, different type of things that I was still dealing with. And God just basically just had to sit me down for a while, man, so I can get my mind right.
Basically like the prodigal son.
Yeah, yeah, man, I had to, dude. And I honestly believe, man, my father and my daughter's illness, I believe a lot of that helped. A lot of that, because, man, if it was not for my daughter, bro, and I'm being so honest, dude, she she taught me how to love truly. She taught me how I'm supposed to truly love. So because of her and because of the love that I had for her, and taking that loss in the natural, it taught me how to love her mother again. It taught me how to love her as a husband should. It taught me how to cherish what God has blessed me with. You find of the wife, you find a good thing, obtain favor with the Lord. I didn't take that literally. Hey, that's what the Bible say. But I really understand what that means now. Um, I understand what it means, man, to love my wife as God loved the church. I didn't understand that back then, man. Um, which I think that's one of the downfalls I believe that happens with Christian artists. A lot of us, we get saved, and I'm speaking in Christian hip hop. We get saved and start going to church, and we automatically start doing what we know how to do. So you know how to rap, so I'm just gonna rap for God now, but I have no understanding of what I'm doing. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that we make. We don't take time to get discipled. We don't take time to find that mentor that's going to hold us accountable for our actions. And we just go at it. And when temptation comes or when adversity comes, man, we just kind of fall. That's what happened to me, man. I didn't take time to get truly discipled. I mean, I was in church, but I was never discipled. I didn't take time to find someone that was going to hold me accountable. I wasn't holding myself accountable, and I wasn't allowing anybody else to hold me accountable. So when things happen, man, they just happen, and I would just have to deal with it as it came. And man, that was a big problem. And when everything happened the way it did, Vaughn, Trey Nine, and Pastor, what is his name? I can't even think of his name now, man. Terrence, Pastor Terrence, over Worldwide, over Street Life Worldwide. You know what I'm talking about? What is his name? Terrence something. But him and that pastor and Trey Nine and Vaughn, man, they sat down, they talked to me, and they were like, look, bro, you know you messed up. You really need to take some time and just just get back with God the way you really need to. So that's what I did. That's what I did, man, and it was a help.
Great, man. Um,
Terrence Levi, that's his name, Pastor Terrence Levi.
what style do you have? Like, what's some of the different styles for hip hop or rap do you like?
Man, it's crazy, man, because I'm old school, dude. I just turned 41 years old, bro. So I grew up in the time of Tupac and Ice Cube and stuff like that. And I believe first, man, when you as a rapper, man, I believe first of all you got to have some kind of content. So I don't really have a particular style. I'm just me. I don't. I love. I used to love Bone Thugs and Harmony, but I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not the best rapper when it comes to that. I mean, like I have a few songs where I can, kind of do it like that or whatever. But my favorite style, man, is just be me. However the song comes out. If God gives me a song where I'm doing something kind of trappish, then it comes to that. But I don't have a particular style. I never tried to have a particular style. I just always studied different artists. I've always listened to different artists, man, to see what was really going on in hip hop. And the best artists in the world, man, to me were Tupac and Ice Cube, because Ice Cube was one of the best storytellers in hip hop, and Ice Cube and Tupac, man, he was just his whole persona. So I'm not the greatest storyteller, and I don't have the greatest persona, but I do the best at telling my story. And my persona about my story is me. So I just be the best who I am and tell my story best, as far as how God brought me out of everything that He's brought me out of, man. So I'm not gonna say I have a particular style. I just I just like to keep it, man. I like it. I just like it. A lot of heavy bass, a lot of pianos, man, a lot of strings, and just tell the story, bro.
That's cool. Do you beatbox or freestyle by any chance?
I do a little something, man. I do a little something. I was that's crazy. I was beatbox champion like 2 or 3 years in a row. I've won a few battles here and there. I do a little something, man.
Cool. Um, what's some of the places people can reach you? What's your social media, email, or website?
Okay, first place anybody can. I'm gonna be honest, man. The most places you can find me, bro, is Facebook. I'm on Facebook and I'm on SoundCloud. On Facebook, of course, you can just find me under John Moore, but I also have a music page called J Moore. Um, if you're gonna look it up through Facebook, if you can't find J Moore, you can go to facebook.com/ across the tracks. Across the tracks is spelled ACROSSTHATRAXX. Across the tracks. That's my production label. Then on SoundCloud, man, just John Moore. I believe it's just John Moore on SoundCloud. Yeah, it's just John on SoundCloud, man.
Any Instagram or Snapchat?
Nope, don't do Instagram, don't do Snapchat. I'm not a real big social media person. I have I got some things about social media, man. I just don't get into. So okay. Once again, keeping it real, social media got me in trouble. So I figured out, man, the best way for me to not get in trouble on social media is not for me to deal with it that much. So I just don't do social media that much, man. If they want to email me, they can email me at iamrebornmusic@gmail.com.
Cool, man. Well, it's been great talking to you, man, and having this interview, learning more about you, and definitely would like talk to you again in the future and hear more of your music. And thanks for your time, man, and appreciate your music, your testimony, and everything else, um, and just not sure how to close it.
No, man, it's cool, man. In all honesty, man, I appreciate the look, man. Just wanting to talk to me, dude. Especially bringing up that song with Cypreme, man. That lets me know that you followed me for a little bit.
Yeah, man.
That lets me know you followed me for a little bit, so that it's good to be appreciated, man. You know, God has always, man, has opened doors for me, bro. And like I said, man, I'm here. I'm not saying this is a comeback, but you can be looking for a lot more from me, man. Um, I'm always working. I mean, I have songs, bro, here in my studio library that I've never released. Um, but yeah, man, be looking for a lot more from Jay Moore, bro. It's coming. Um, I just feel like the way things ended, with my career as far as Christian hip hop, the genre, it wasn't right, and it was my fault that it wasn't right. Um, and I don't want to leave. You can't let your testimony, man, be flawed by your actions. You know, so it was like a lot of things that I did, man. I had to go learn. I had to grow up, bro, and I had to correct them. So it's time to correct them.
That's awesome. Is there anything you'd like to encourage people with, or tell people before we hang this up?
Yeah, man. After my daughter died, bro, I was ready to give it up. I was ready to give up everything, and I thought, losing her was the end of everything. Um, but I learned that no matter what happens in life, man, no matter what this world throws at you, God is there. He's real. He's a comforter. He's a father. He's a friend. He loves you. He's never going to give up on you. No matter what you do, he'll never throw you away. He'll never cast you away. And I just want to tell everybody, man, just know that he's real. No matter what you're facing, man, he's there. I'm telling you, I was a slum. I was a nothing. Heart full of anger, man. Heart full of hatred. And he changed me. And if he can change me, drug addict, drug dealer, whoremonger, greedy, envious, jealous, lustful, no good, nothing. If he can change me, he can change you.
Amen.
Yeah. Amen.
Once again, I thank you, man. Hit me up and let me know if you got any new songs or anything like that, man. So let me know what's going on.
Okay, cool. I'll tell you what. Keep your eyes open, man. I might pull a Drake on everybody, man. I got stuff that I'll be dropping in the middle of the night. You never know.
Alrighty, man. Well, it's good talking to you.
All right, brother. You take it easy, man. Get you some rest.
Alrighty. Thank you.
All right, brother.
All right, bye.
Check out hotrapmix.com. It's where I'm posting these episodes of BranNuYu in the Mix. It's also on SoundCloud. Just type in Hot Rap Mix or BranNuYu in the Mix. BranNuYu. These are free downloads, so you can take it anywhere you go. Also, please share the audio from SoundCloud to your Facebook and everywhere else. Get the word out about this, because people need to hear these testimonies. They need to hear the music and everything else. If you're a gospel rapper or singer, hit me up, hotrapmix@gmail.com, or on my Facebook, Brandon Nolan, BranDyNolen, or you can hit me up on Instagram @hotrapmix. You can also hit me up. My Snapchat is BranNuYu, BranNuYu. Just let me know how I can connect with you, and we can do a Skype or a phone call on Facebook, or a video call, wherever we can get an interview in. I can edit with Audacity and then put it together, and also provide some of your music so I can play it along with the interview so people can hear your music. And hope to have a great conversation with you, and looking forward to hearing your testimony.
Once again, everybody, check out hotrapmix.com. That's where it's at, where I'm promoting gospel rap music that's better, because Jesus' music is better, bro.